Hey people, okay, somebody's asked about dual fuel, petrol, gas. Why do the injectors have problems? The petrol injectors, so it's not just 4x4 diesel, petrol injectors. So we did mention in a video, I think the video was called when to change or clean petrol fuel injectors, because people ask questions, so we make videos with answers like this one, killing two birds with one stone while I'm on the road, getting a few answers out there. So if you have, did, will, or ever might have a petrol engine, you need to run it regularly. If you don't run it regularly, you can have some injector problems. Now, generally the problems with petrol injectors and dual fuel is, so you've got a dual fuel vehicle. So let's use a Ford Falcon, for example, because they were awesome on gas, the 6-cylinder engines, if you had a good gas system anyway. But let's just say there was a pretty good one out of factory, ran in the late 90s, right? EL Falcons, I'm pretty sure you could get the VL or something converter, and it was still factory petrol gas, right? So it was kind of an awesome system, dual fuel. They went to straight gas after that. Good gas system again, but they had a bit of an issue once they waxed up and whatever. It was a no-go, mate. You're on the side of the road, so you had to be ready for that. Carry a spare converter, whatever. But because there was no backup plan, that's a bit of a problem. But the good news was you never paid for any fuel system and never had any problems with it. The straight gas was a really good option, especially later on the AUs, I think, were really good. The AU Falcons, did they have them after that? I don't know if the BAs had them, I can't remember, but anyway. But AU straight gas, mate. What dedicated gas it was called. What a beautiful engine. It's got the green rocker cover on it. Just ran beautiful, I've got to say. Yeah, I did have at least one. Now, the problem with dual fuel is you're being a tight ass, right? So you're running around on gas all the time, right? So I hope everyone had a laugh, but isn't it true, right? If you're on gas, you're a tight ass, simple as that. Or you're doing a lot of cars and you want to save money, but that's the same thing, right? Don't worry, I've had gas cars, I'll be a tight ass too sometimes, right? And I hope I'm not swearing, it's just what it is. Ass, is that okay? Okay, so basically, you're running gas gap, and that's why they had this wet start system as well. So then at least the fuel system got to run whenever the vehicle started. This is, you know, there was a lot of different gas systems with little computers doing different things, but some of them would start on petrol, switch up over a minute, stuff like that. But they needed, and then there were stickers on the cars saying, you know, run the vehicle for at least 20 litres once a week. You know, my rule was if you had dual fuel, start it up on petrol, run it till it warms up on petrol. Yeah, you're going to use some fuel. Well, you know what? I mean, you got to do these things if you want to keep it running reliable. So warm it up, then do the majority of your kilometres on gas, right? So do that each time, mate, because they like to start up on petrol anyway. That way, it's like you're giving it a run. 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes of every drive, you know? If you stop, start, you're driving the car 10 times a day, then just put it on gas, leave it on gas for the rest of the day. But obviously, think about the fuel. If you watch our videos, we've only done a few examples where it shows petrol is bad stuff, right? I'm not going to go into what it's got in it, but you just have a look at it, you let it sit there, it dries up, it gums up. Well, the same thing happens with injectors. You've got fuel. Let's sort of just try and paint. Imagine you had, you know, in your shower, you turn off the shower and you get that bit of, depends on what your water's like, you get that white, you know what I'm talking about? We're not using names in this video for what's in the fuel or what's coming out of the water, right? But you know, you get a bit, you know, it gets a bit dirty sort of thing, you know, if you actually got to do the elbow grease and wash something every now and then. Well, with the petrol injectors, if they're constantly running, that fuel pressure and that fuel, especially the premium fuel with the additives and stuff like that, helps keep all those nozzles clean. So one thing that can happen with injectors, they can get a little bit cooked as well. So from the heat of the gas system, again, depending what vehicle and what gas system, so the heat can affect them. So the fuel pump needs to be continually running, pumping the fuel through the rail to keep the injectors cool. So that's one thing. So one of your causes of injectors having a misfire could be that you didn't have a system like that, so they could have got cooked. Partly that. The other part is if they're just not running, so they're getting cooked and there's not fuel going, it's kind of baking all that gummy tar, you know, that reddy orange yucky stuff that you see when petrol dries up. You see it in fuel tanks, fuel lines, fuel filters, anywhere. You put some fuel in a bottle, don't actually, it's dangerous, let it dry up, it just leaves a thick red. It's not like diesel. Diesel's nice and clean, everything stays clean. There's no cleaning diesel injectors, you're wasting your money. I've talked about this before. Think it through. Don't worry what I say, think about what I say and does it make sense. I'm not here to sell you or unsell you anything, right? I'm here to give you the genuine information, get you thinking, okay? So With the injectors, just imagine a dribble of fuel sitting there, dries up, then it doesn't get run again for a couple of weeks because people are running around on gas burning dead ass, right? So then it's just sitting, and then you try and run it again, you run it again, and it just builds up. So two things happen. The nozzles basically, the nozzles do 100%, the nozzles do block up because we had the ultrasonic cleaning machine back in the 90s, and being a gas specialist, we were doing gas installations, we were cleaning petrol injectors. So yep, I stripped them down, all the caps, O-rings off, everything on the machine. We'd run them, test spray patterns, flow tests, and all this sort of thing, and then we'd go, okay, rightio, then we'd run them through the cleaner, then you'd go run them on the test again, not good enough, run them through the cleaner, and sometimes you had to run them through the cleaner for hours before they'd get back. And we could always bring them back, usually, I shouldn't say always, but from memory, pretty much always we could bring them back to working like they should, and that's when the flow rates were correct and when the spray patterns were good also. So once we saw that was correct, then we'd obviously refit with all new O-rings, caps and everything, and they'd go back in the vehicle, happy days, all fixed again, ready to go bad if you don't run it on fuel. So it's as simple as that. You need to regularly run it on fuel, and then you won't have any problem because it won't know it's on gas. The engine will know, but the injectors won't know. They'll just think they're a vehicle that every time the car starts, the injectors will think they're in a car that only does 5Ks a day. You know what I mean? So if you drive it once a day or once every 3, whatever it is, as long as it starts up on petrol, even 5 minutes, then that'll cover you. It might not be 20 litres every week or two, whatever the specification was. I can't remember. I'm sort of making stuff up, right? It's something like that, 20 litres every week or two. It's quite a bit of fuel, but not all at once, because all at once doesn't make sure you've run the car for the last week or two, does it? Every time you start the car, you start on petrol. Stop being a tight ass. Yes, you're going to burn some fuel, or just never run it on petrol again. Make sure it starts on gas if you're in the right climate, that your gas system works. Don't worry about the petrol. Don't run it on petrol. Get rid of your petrol tank. Put more gas capacity in. Dedicated gas is awesome. Choose your fuel. Diesel, gas, petrol, whatever you want. Hybrid, batteries. Hey, look at the options you got these days. You choose your fuel. Choose one and stick to it. If you want a dual fuel, I suggest hybrid's the way to go. The Corolla currently getting better than 4 litres per 100 Ks. It's obviously mainly an EV, and the engine mainly kicks in to recharge. So the petrol engine's mainly used recharging that battery because of the way it gets driven. But if you drive it a bit harder, then it combines to add power to driving the vehicle and charging. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll have more videos on that. Bada bing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Think my recommendations. In today's day and age of price of gas, I wouldn't buy a gas vehicle anymore. So gas is done and dusted. Diesel vehicles, to be honest, I don't think anybody should buy a new diesel engine anymore. I know people are still out buying them today, tomorrow, next week, next year. We've got this climate thing, everybody wants to save the world. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. We've got this big change going on. Can you believe in some countries they've already got rid of combustion engines and it's electric only? They'll take your car off the road. Information provided by an 11-year-old, right? Could be accurate, usually he's pretty right, but I haven't checked that myself. Let us know in the comments. But then in some countries like here, they still today and all this year and next year and the year after will be selling new diesel engines that will become worthless and someone's going to get left holding the bag. And of course they're bad for us health-wise. Even if they've got DPFs, then there's the cleaning factors, still environmental factors. Bad news. 1 KD last to the best. I'm going to say, I had to say it, didn't I? Right, if you're travelling and you need a four-wheel drive, your long-range diesel is still the best vehicle. The 1 KD is still going to be the most reliable. That's that you can rely upon for many years to come. And the next thing that'll be coming not too far away is hybrids in the rest of the range. It's going to happen, I guarantee it. I don't know when they're going to do it. I'm just using my natural common sense. It is going to happen. The whole Toyota range hybrid except the four-wheel drives. I think the Hilux might be next, and then hybrids are going to be a game changer. Everybody left with a diesel, then cha-ching, cha-ching, your money's going to go down. It can only go one way because everyone's going to be making that switch, right? Everybody's going to be making the switch. It's going to be the way to be. But we're going to have all these petrol and old diesel hanging around. There's going to be abundance of them. This is the way I see it going anyway. So you want to stick with your old bastard the best, then you've got less to lose. The old 120's awesome. The 150's awesome. The Hiluxes the 5-speed autos, the 5-speed manuals in the Hiluxes, stick with them, they're gold. You know, get yourself a cheap car under 20 grand is what I would do at the moment, that can tour and travel, that sort of thing. Under, what did I say? Under 30 grand, even up to 40, depends how much money you got. But I wouldn't be going putting 70 grand, 80 grand with all your mods, 90 grand into a new diesel vehicle. It is just crazy stuff in this climate, and especially the way things are headed. Thanks for watching. Bada bing, bada boom, subscribe. Talk to you on the next one, because that's what I'm doing. See ya.